यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री यशस्वी जिस लम्हे का हमें इंतज़ार था वो लम्हा आ चुका है. बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome श्री राव इंद्रजीत सिंह जी with a round of applause. सभी की ओर से जोरदार तालियां. The Union Minister of State, independent charge of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Union Minister of State, independent charge of the Ministry of Planning, and Union Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture. A very warm welcome to you, sir. May I also please request the other dignitaries to kindly take their places on the dais. Sri V. Srinivas, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Department of Pension and Pensioners Welfare, Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensioners. May I please invite Sri Alok Kumar, Principal Secretary, Planning, Program and Implementation, Department and Science and Technology Department, Government of Uttar Pradesh. Sri Amit Chandra, Co-Founder and Director, ATE Chandra Foundation, and Sri Namit Mehta, DC, Udaipur, Rajasthan. Let's give a big round of applause to all our dignitaries on the dais.
Please come in front. Chairs are empty. Please come in front. Some of the assistants can come in front.
And we also welcome on dais Ms. Gitanjali Gupta, Additional Secretary, Niti Aayog.
Please come in front. Some of the assistant secretaries can come in front. Please come in front. The chairs are empty. Please come in front. Please come in front. Some of the assistant secretaries are there. Please come in front. And please come in front. Some of the assistant secretaries who are seated at the back, please come in front. The chairs are.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin the proceedings for this session, once again, a very warm welcome to everyone present here. At the outset, may I please request Sri V. Srinivas to please welcome Sri Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji with a floral bouquet, please. Requesting Sri V. Srinivas to welcome Sri Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji with a floral bouquet. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this important session on the Aspirational Blocks program, a transformative initiative aimed at accelerating development in India's most underserved regions. Building on the success of Aspirational Districts program, this next step focuses on improving key indicators in health, education, agriculture, and infrastructure at the block level. Today, we have experts and change makers who will share insights, challenges, and innovations driving this mission. Let's delve into how data-driven governance, community participation, and targeted interventions are shaping a new growth story at the grassroots. With that, let us begin the proceedings for the session. At the outset, may I please invite Sri V. Srinivas, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Department of Pension and Pensioners Welfare, Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensioners for the Welfare, to kindly please address the gathering. He represents India on the Council of Administration. All right. May I please invite you, sir, to address the August House and present the welcome remarks, please.
Honorable Minister of State for Planning, Sri Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji, distinguished colleagues, Additional Secretary Niti, Srimati Gitanjali Ji. I am representing the host Department of Administrative Reforms, and the CEO Niti sir has asked me to be in attendance in your honor. Sir, on the 17th Civil Services Day in the morning, the Honorable Prime Minister had addressed us and asked all civil servants of India to rededicate themselves with a nation-first, citizen-first approach. He had made special mention of the Aspirational Blocks program, which is the next step towards taking governance models right up to the doorsteps of the people, and in addition to community mobilization through schemes like PM Janman. The Aspirational Blocks program has been a part of the Prime Minister's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration, and more than 400 districts, sir, 400 districts had participated in this program, out of which 5 were awarded by the Honorable Prime Minister in the morning. And in fact, it is one of the most comprehensive participations. Gitanjali ji had led the screening committees. And it was seen that tremendous amount of effort has been put in terms of improvements in institutional deliveries, in terms of educational parameters, also in terms of the other major areas in terms of skill development, employment generation. Activities had shown massive improvement. And the real heroes of this journey that we have witnessed were largely the district magistrates, the block development officers, and the field functionaries who have implemented these programs and brought them to life. In fact, in the morning discussion with the awardees, the Prime Minister had also mentioned that in many of these districts, initially there would be huge number of vacant posts. But today, with so much focus and energy being accorded to these districts, some of the brightest officers from across the states are being deployed in the aspirational districts, and many of the bright officers from the provincial civil service are handling the block level programs. The aspirational block program continues the aspirational district program. Sir, I was myself a Prabhari Adhikari for Karoli district of Rajasthan, and I actually thought that it would be a humongous task to transform a district from where those initial indicators initially showed in the first year. But by the time we came to the third year, we found that in many indicators, Karoli district had outpaced many of the advanced districts of Rajasthan. So that is the kind of transformation that has been witnessed across many aspirational districts and many aspirational blocks across India. And morning, the Honorable Prime Minister had cited the example of Adilabad, wherein which 100% institutional deliveries have been achieved, as also under Mission Indradhanush, 100% immunization rates have been achieved. As we move forward to institutionalize many of these best practices, we look forward to greater replication of the initiatives and leadership that you have shown. And we hope many planning secretaries, along with the district magistrates and block level officers, can come forward to document and disseminate this experience. So if India's development story for 2047 is to be realized, and the theme of this year's 17th Civil Services Day 2025 is Viksit Bharat, Holistic Development of India. And as the Honorable Prime Minister said in the morning, it is a subject of great importance, and today's deliberations we take forward the nation's developmental model even further. With these opening remarks, sir, I once again extend a warm and hearty welcome to you, all the aspirational districts across India. All the district collectors, along with block officers, are connected with us online today, and the awardees who have come from different parts of India are participating in the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts, views, and ideas with all of us, and for presenting the welcome remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed, it is indeed a privilege to welcome and introduce the chair of this session, Shri Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji, a veteran parliamentarian, seasoned administrator, and a leader with an illustrious career spanning over 4 decades in Indian public life. Currently serving as Union Minister of State, independent charge of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Union Minister of State, independent charge of the Ministry of Planning, and Union Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture. His tenure has been marked by a clear focus on good governance, policy innovation, and grassroots development. A 5-time Member of Parliament representing Gurgaon, Haryana, he carries forward a rich political legacy and has been a steadfast voice for the aspirations of his region. Educated in law and a former international level shooter, he brings to public life both intellectual acumen and disciplined determination. We are deeply honored to have him chair this session and invite him to present the keynote address now. Please join hands in, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Shri Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji.
Dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, namaste. It is a privilege to stand before you today on the occasion of Civil Services Day, a day that commemorates the visionary leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and renews our collective commitment to public service. Today is not merely a celebration, it is a moment of reflection, a time to take stock of what we have achieved and where we must go next. And in that spirit, I wish to speak not just of the policies and programs, but also of possibilities. Possibilities that are no longer distant, but visible in action. Possibilities that are becoming real, block by block. As I speak of a transformation that is silently yet steadily reshaping the development landscape of our nation, the Aspirational Blocks program, launched by the Honorable Prime Minister in January 23, the ABP represents a paradigm shift in how governance is conceptualized and delivered. From remote highlands to PVGT habitation, if I may elucidate, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. From remote highlands to PVTG habitations, from flood-prone regions to arid hamlets, governance today is no longer an abstraction. It is door-to-door, problem to solution, human to human. The ABP covers over 500 blocks across 329 districts of the nation, impacting nearly 50% of India's population. These are not just administrative units, they are often regions where development indicators have remained low for decades. But the constraints here have stemmed from structural barriers, contextual complexities, and a lack of real-time visibility. What the ABP program has done is to challenge the very lens through which we view development. It replaces the language of deficiency and the language of potential. It replaces the language of deficiency with the language of potential. Each block is now seen not through the prism of what it lacks, but what it could become. This is not a top-down trickle. This is democracy delivered at the doorstep. The Aspirational Blocks program stands on three foundational pillars: convergence, collaboration, and competition. These are not just buzzwords. They are the architecture of transformation. For the first time, 40 key performance indicators across the critical sectors like health and nutrition, education, agriculture, social development and infrastructure have been unified under a common results framework. This ensures that progress is not episodic but systemic. Thanks to Champions of Change, which provides block-level data of these 40 KPIs for all 500 blocks and quarterly delta rankings, blocks are no longer evaluated based on historic averages or anecdotal assessments. They are measured on movement, momentum, and measurable change. The idea is simple. If you can see it, you can solve it. And to achieve that visibility, governance has been reimagined as a collaborative force. The ABP's strength also lies in its institutional alignment, an often overlooked achievement. Rarely do we witness such deep cooperation between the center and the states, where line ministries, state departments, district collectors, and block teams coordinate efforts within a unified framework. This is cooperative federalism in action, not merely as principle, but as a practice. Schemes that once ran parallel now operate in sync. Ministries are proactively aligning their initiatives and interventions. States and districts are not just implementing partners, they are innovation hubs. This convergence has allowed for speed, scale, and symmetry. From the top echelons of central ministries, to the ground level energy of block development officers, the ABP embodies whole of government approach. It is governance in concert, responsive, coordinated, and mission-driven. To support this mission, sustained capacity building has been a crucial enabler. Initiatives like Chintan Shivers and Sankalp Saptah have empowered block-level officials and communities to assess local challenges, develop micro-action plans, and forge community partnerships. These forums are not just training sessions, they are engines of ideation and co-creation. This is governance at a scale and speed. One of the defining moments of the ABP so far has been the Sampurna Abhiyan, which ran from July to September 24. In this time-bound campaign, 6 critical KPIs were identified by Niti Aayog for saturation across all 500 blocks. The results have been remarkable. 91 blocks achieved full saturation of all 6 indicators, and 354 blocks attained saturation in 3 or more indicators. This was a demonstration of what happens when intent meets execution. It wasn't just official, it was a coalition of change. Frontline workers trekking to remote habitations, self-help group members doubling up as nutrition mobilizers, and school teachers becoming attendance champions. The Abhiyan showed that governance is no longer confined to offices and files. It is alive in the field, owned by the people, and driven by data. This is what happens when clarity of purpose meets collective will. Crucially, this transformation is not being done to the people, it is being done with them. In many blocks, communities are no longer passive recipients, they are active partners. This is evident in the numerous grassroots innovations that have emerged. Birth waiting homes in Baramulla are improving maternal health outcomes in high-risk geographies. Use of tech is used for improving learning outcomes of children in schools. These are not pilot projects, they are people-powered solutions to persistent challenges. The Super 60 PV TG blocks, reaching 20 lakh tribal citizens, and the Northeast Evolution Strategy, rolled out across 41 blocks in the Northeast, further demonstrates that no region is too remote and no citizen is too peripheral for the state to take care and to respond to. Alongside delivery, the ABP has also begun to reshape local economies. Under the Bharat Akanksha initiative, over 2,300 plus local products from aspirational blocks are being promoted at the national level. From traditional crafts to agricultural-based goods, these products are being branded, packaged, and marketed under a common identity. This vocal for local push has not only improved incomes, but has revived a sense of pride in local identity. Recognition of such efforts has also evolved. The PM's Awards for Excellence in Public Administration under the ABP category are not mere accolades, they are celebrations of dedication. With a rigorous 4-stage evaluation process involving data analysis, call center feedback, field verification, and presentations, the awards honor real work done in real places by real people. Today's panel discussion brings together perspectives from the field and from the leadership. It is more than a platform to share best practices. It is a space to reflect on the deeper question, what does inclusive development truly look like? And how can we ensure that it is sustained, deepened, and scaled. Let me close by invoking the words of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who said, "Real development is not about making rich people richer, but about giving the poor the confidence that they too can dream." The Aspirational Blocks program is about restoring that confidence in blocks that were once labeled as lagging, in communities that were once overlooked, in a system that is now showing it can listen, adapt, and act. This is India rising from the grassroots, not through grand declarations, but through steady participatory transformation. On this Civil Services Day, let us all recommit to a government that delivers, a bureaucracy that dares, and to a nation that deserves nothing less than the best. Thank you and Jai Hind.
As rightly mentioned, today is not only a moment of celebration, but also an opportunity for reflection as well. What lies ahead? Taking on these learnings forward and building on the work that has already been done. Thank you, sir, for joining us here. Your presence is truly motivating. So, as also mentioned by sir, today's sessions will showcase perspectives from field and leadership. May I now begin by inviting the distinguished panelists for the session to make their respective presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll begin by inviting Shri Alok Kumar, Principal Secretary, Planning, Program and Implementation Department and Science and Technology Department, Government of Uttar Pradesh. Shri Alok has been a driving force behind the Aspirational Blocks program, where he has steered planning innovations aimed at elevating the most underdeveloped blocks in the state through focused interventions in health, education, agriculture, and infrastructure. He also launched innovative schemes like Family ID, designed to enhance transparency and efficiency in the delivery of welfare benefits, and CM Fellowship Program aimed at involving youth in grassroots governance. His contributions in the field of digital governance include the award-winning CM Dashboard Darpan, which aggregates data from various departments to enable real-time decision-making and performance tracking. May I please invite you, sir, to make your presentation.
Thank you so much. Rao Indrajit sir, chair of the session, V. Srinivas sir, Geetanjali Gupta ma'am, Amit Chandra ji, all my friends and colleagues, a very good afternoon to all. And I also take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy Civil Services Day. Before I take this opportunity to also thank DAPRG and DRPG and Niti for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to showcase the efforts which has been done by our state towards Aspirational Block Program. Before I make a presentation, I would like we have made a small video, with the permission of the chair, I would ask the team to please play that video.
यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने समग्र विकास के संकल्प को एस्पिरेशनल ब्लॉक प्रोग्राम यानी आकांक्षात्मक विकास खंड कार्यक्रम के माध्यम से सिद्धि तक पहुंचाया है। सामाजिक और आर्थिक रूप से पिछड़े विकास खंडों को उन्नति की मुख्य धारा से जोड़ने एवं औसत विकास से ऊपर लाने के लिए यूपी में 50 इंडिकेटर्स को बनाया गया है विकास का आधार।
मुझे विश्वास है कि जिस तरह एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रोग्राम ने कामयाबी का परचम लहराया है, वैसे ही एस्पिरेशनल ब्लॉक प्रोग्राम भी 100% सफल होने ही वाला है।
आकांक्षात्मक विकास खंड कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत प्रदेश के 108 आकांक्षात्मक विकास खंडों में प्रगति का अनुश्रवण किया जा रहा है, जिसमें नीति आयोग द्वारा देश में चिन्हित 500 विकास खंडों में से उत्तर प्रदेश में 68 विकास खंड भी सम्मिलित हैं। इन विकास खंडों में स्वास्थ्य एवं पोषण, शिक्षा, कृषि एवं संबद्ध सेवाएं, आधारभूत अवसंरचना तथा सामाजिक विकास पर तेजी से काम किया जा रहा है। इसके लिए केंद्र और राज्य सरकार की विभिन्न योजनाओं के सम्मिलन, विभिन्न स्तर के प्रभारी अधिकारियों के बीच समन्वय और विकास खंडों के बीच प्रगति की सकारात्मक प्रतिस्पर्धा से कार्यक्रम ने सफलता की नई उड़ान भरी है। युवाओं को प्रदेश के विकास में भागीदारी का अवसर प्रदान करने के उद्देश्य से मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ जी ने यूपी सीएम फेलोशिप स्कीम को आकांक्षात्मक विकास खंड कार्यक्रम से जोड़कर गतिशीलता प्रदान की। आकांक्षात्मक विकास खंड कार्यक्रम के बेहतर क्रियान्वयन के लिए 108 शोधार्थियों को नियुक्त किया गया है। शोधार्थियों की ग्राउंड जीरो पर 60,000 से अधिक फील्ड विजिट, रियल टाइम ऑनलाइन रिपोर्टिंग और महत्वपूर्ण परामर्श से क्रियान्वयन से जुड़ी कमियों को दूर करने में बड़ी मदद मिली है। यूपी मॉडल की सराहना करते हुए नीति आयोग ने वर्ष 2023 में इसे देश के चयनित 500 विकास खंडों में लागू किया है।
विकास खंडों को जो अब तक आकांक्षात्मक थे, विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में पीछे थे, उन सभी को अगर हम लोग स्टेट एवरेज से अच्छे प्रदर्शन की श्रेणी में ला के खड़ा कर देते हैं तो उत्तर प्रदेश की न केवल विकास की दर में बढ़ोतरी होगी बल्कि आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की मंशा के अनुरूप हम आत्मनिर्भर भारत की परिकल्पना को साकार करने में अपने स्तर पर योगदान दे पाएंगे।
जल जीवन मिशन के अंतर्गत हर घर नल से शुद्ध पेयजल, स्वच्छ भारत अभियान के तहत शौचालय और कचरा प्रबंधन, आयुष्मान आरोग्य मंदिर, प्राथमिक विद्यालय, आंगनबाड़ी केंद्र और पंचायत भवन का निर्माण और विकास किया गया है। प्रसव पूर्व देखभाल के लिए गर्भवती महिलाओं का पोषण एवं टीकाकरण, 30 वर्ष से अधिक उम्र के व्यक्तियों में डायबिटीज और हाइपरटेंशन की स्क्रीनिंग, कृषि पद्धति में सुधार और खाद के उचित उपयोग के लिए मृदा स्वास्थ्य कार्ड और स्वयं सहायता समूहों को उद्यमी बनाने की दिशा में काम किया जा रहा है। परिणाम स्वरूप नीति आयोग द्वारा निर्गत मार्च 2024 की ओवरऑल डेल्टा रैंकिंग में श्रावस्ती जिले के जमुनाहा विकास खंड ने देश में पहला स्थान प्राप्त किया है। जून 2023 से सितंबर 2024 के बीच जोनवार डेल्टा रैंकिंग में यूपी के 4 विकास खंड प्रथम स्थान पर पहुंचे।
Thank you so much. So now I will make a small presentation. I will try to be as fast as possible. So here we have presented this 5W and 2H principle which we have applied for UP Aspirational Block Program. Why did we start with this Aspirational Block Program? Who are the different stakeholders? When did we start? We started this program in about May 2022. We selected aspirational blocks. These 100 blocks were selected in year 2020, but we could start and we could really start the program by 2022 after the elections. These were being implemented in 42 districts. And what are we going to monitor? This we had identified through different indicators. And how much are we going to monitor? So these were the principles which we applied for Aspirational Block Program. And here again, we have tried to make out some of the road maps which we have already traveled, like the criteria for selections. Of course, these were with the support of NITI, and on the nudge of NITI, I would say that we started this identification of Aspirational Block Program based on the different socio-economic and infrastructure indicators which were there at that time. And the objective was to bring these aspirational blocks above the state average so that every and the states should grow. We started with 100 blocks and these were spread across 34 districts, and we identified 5 thematic areas. All these thematic areas were same as the aspirational district program. And we started with 75 indicators, and overall we could achieve progress and overall improvement in all those indicators. And we every year, sir, we publish, we come up with this annual report on aspirational district program, aspirational block program. And NITI has always been a very integral part of all these monitoring. And after it was also previous VC and the present VC, they have all come to UP and monitor this program. And NITI also, NITI has started this aspirational block program it was launched in January 2023. And out of 500 blocks, 68 blocks from UP were selected, but we thought that we we have to continue with all the remaining blocks also. So we are monitoring the aspirational block program in 108 blocks, and now like 34 districts were earlier, because we did not choose any aspirational block from aspirational district. But as per Niti has chosen the most backward block from every aspirational district also. So now this is being monitored in 42 districts and 108 blocks. And apart from 40 indicators which were identified by, as we all know that in aspirational block, Niti has identified 40 indicators, but we have also taken 10 indicators which are of state's preference, like some of these are related to skilling programs, and some like health indicators also, which we thought that we will continue with like monitoring of children immunization and such, and some of those indicators. So we are monitoring 50 indicators, and comprehensive geo has been issued for this. So now in the next few slides, I will be talking about like monitoring and incentive framework, the CM fellowship program, the induction cum training program, and the block development strategy. So we have we have CDO as the district level nodal officers, and we have this. We also do the concurrent monitoring through UNICEF and such other partner organizations, because we all know that the different data are being entered through field level units, but many a times when it comes to like some of the health indicators, we get that ANC is being done in almost 90%. ANC is being registered in the first trimester, but actually what is the situation in the ground? So we have also roped in UNICEF and such other organizations who are doing concurrent monitoring, and all these data are being again reported back to the field level functionaries, the CDOs and the DMs, and we are taking a feedback from them. And the CM has been always very regular in monitoring this aspirational block program. And one more thing, like in our state, CM has been very particular that be it aspirational district or aspirational block, 100% of the important posts, they have to be filled. So we are making sure that the level of vacancy is very minimal in the aspirational block or aspirational district. We have a live interactive dashboard, just like Champions of Change of Niti, where all the absolute ranking, delta ranking, everything is there, and for the field level units to look into. We also have financial incentive. We started with 5 crore in the financial year 23-24. Like whosoever block is performing well in overall or in separately in different identified themes, we are awarding them. So now we have increased this. This was increased to 10 crores in 24-25, and now in this year 25-26, we have made a budget provision of 20 crores. This CM fellowship program, this was our honorable CM. He was mainly instrumental in because he wanted to engage youth in such programs like aspirational district or aspirational block programs. So this was entirely his idea. And the selection process was completely in-house, and we selected 100 fellows out of this 27,000 applicants, and this all shortlisting and everything was done within our department. And we had all these selected candidates. We selected we screened out almost 300 to 350, and these were interviewed by a panel which was headed by ex-chairman UGC, Mr. DP Singh. And we conducted 2 weeks residential programs, and this was addressed, all these candidates were addressed by Chief Secretary and all departmental, senior level departmental officers, whosoever is where their department is, and the program is getting monitored under Aspirational District Program. And it is not all we continuously we are asking, we are calling them these CM fellows to to the state headquarters, and we are doing refresher trainings. And after taking cue from this CM fellowship program under aspirational block program, this has been now spread over in West UP. We have Udyami Mitra on the same lines as CM fellowship program, and we have these working under urban development, tourism, and others also. So again, talking about CM fellows, they are, I would say they are also very, very highly qualified. 36 of them are PhD, and 17 have done MTech, MBA, and 55 have done Masters. And we are also making sure that when they appear for some of the state government jobs, then they are giving priority, and some weightage is given to their experience which they have in aspirational block program. we have the online reporting system for these fellows, and this like three main reports we are taking from them. One is office visit, because when they started, when they went to the blocks, then one of the main tasks, like one of the first tasks which we asked them to make visits to block level PHC or block level CDPO, like CDPO who is looking after ICDS program. So unless they go and they make visit to these block level senior officers, they would not be able to deliver. So like one of the idea was to make office visit, and the second one was field visits, regular field visit, going into the village, talking to the village pradhans, and getting feedback from community, and the monthly reporting system. So like all these points were there, and the actionable points which you can see that whenever he wants that some action has to be taken, he recommends that some action can be taken at the department level, be it at the district level or at the state headquarter level. He also reports it to, and it is being continuously monitored. This is the third thing I would say, that comprehensive induction and training program by involving all the departments. As we can see, be it health department, ICDS department, every department they came up with this training program, and all they call every time we call these block level officers, and they are being given comprehensive training on aspirational block program, and particularly how do we make block development a strategy, what are the key performance indicators, how do we monitor all those things to improve the performance of aspirational block. This is the block development strategy. Niti has been also always pushing us to have this block development strategy for all the blocks. And here, as you can see, we have done some ABC analysis. Like category A is for every indicator. Say in a block, if we have 50 indicators, then there may be some indicator where the block is performing well above the state average. So that is put in the category B, category A. And category B, we are somewhere very close to a state average, and category C, where we are below 10% of the state average. So of course, we have to have very clear strategy for category C. So this is how we model these things, we started with first making this model block development strategy for 3 blocks where all the CDO were called at their state headquarters, and we handheld them so that we come up with a block development strategy, and then this was shared with all those other blocks so that they can have the block development strategy for their particular blocks. So key outcomes of the aspirational block program, in February 2025, our average achievement, this is the average achievement of these 108 aspirational blocks. Out of 50 indicators, we are exceeding in 30 indicators. Out of 50 indicators, in 30 indicators, the average block performance is above the state average. And all 108 aspirational blocks have surpassed state average. Out of 50 indicators, in 4 indicators, all 108 blocks have fared better than any of the state average. Similarly, number of aspirational blocks below state average, it is going down. So we are monitoring on each and every indicator, and if in any indicator we are not able to perform well, then we are continuously talking to the departmental officers, and we are trying to make sure that in next few months we improve in those indicators. And performance, as it has been already mentioned, that we are thankful, and we have been able to get maximum awards during the last couple of years from Niti. And aspirational to inspirational, as I mentioned, that we have awarded blocks who have performed well, and some of the work which they have done is they have come up with astronomy lab, they have solar panel systems. Yes, sir. And we have some. Here again, I have given some collaborative accomplishment involving CM fellows. One of our CM fellows, he has come up with his own Madhubani painting, and which is being he is trying to make sure that all these the money which he is getting out of these paintings, these are again put into development of some Anganwadi center. We are focusing on how to make sure that more and more institutional delivery centers are there. We are trying to popularize our ODOP products like Kala Namak rice, which is there in Siddharthnagar. So these are some of the initiatives which our CM fellows are taking. And every year, Honorable CM, he calls these CM fellows. He makes a one-to-one discussion with CM fellows so that they are always motivated, because what we have learned during last 2 years, that CM fellows has been very critical in furthering this aspirational block mission. So Thank you so much. So this is all from my side. Thank you so much again for giving this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing those enlightening perspectives and how these various initiatives are actually creating a meaningful change at the grassroots level. Thank you very much for sharing those perspectives. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move further, we will now be inviting Shri Amit Chandra, co-founder and director ATE Chandra Foundation, for his presentation. He's a chairperson and a founding member of Bain Capital's Mumbai office. He has been a key member of Bain Capital's Asia Pacific leadership team for over a decade. Deeply committed to the social sector for over 25 years, he and his wife Archana founded ATECF, one of India's largest non-CSR foundations, which is primarily focused on water security, enhancing agricultural income, and capacity building of the social sector. In 2016, Forbes named him and his wife among Asia's heroes of philanthropy, and they have consistently been featured on Hurun India's philanthropy list as one of the country's largest donors. I please invite Sri Amit Chandra for making his presentation now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Sri Amit Chandra.
Thank you so much. That presentation is going to be a little hard act to follow. Union Minister Singh Saab, dignitaries on the dais and friends, it's really a privilege to be here on this August occasion. I thank the Ministry of Personnel and Niti for this opportunity. I'm going to talk about something a little bit different, how rejuvenation of water bodies at scale can actually solve water security in rural areas, a concept I've been working on now for over a decade. And it's in line with actually the Honorable PM's vision of catch the rain where it falls when it falls, which is one pillar of it, and another pillar of the way he wants to take India forward, which is the concept of Jan Bhagidari. I'll try to present this from two perspectives. One is a perspective that I deeply believe in, which is that we need to solve problems from looking at the lens of outcomes and not outlays, with an emphasis on high efficiency on capital employed and time. I've been working in the social sector now for about 25 years. I now spend most of my time in the area of social sector and policy. But I entered the area of agri and rural about a decade ago, and it really happened because of a series of droughts in Maharashtra. And the question really for me was, why is it that we are having agri distress year after year, despite having spent tens of thousands of crores on the issue of water? I really realized that it's not just the amount of money we had spent on capex, but it's also recurring spending money on drought relief and loan waivers, and there was something fundamentally wrong. And so I began traveling the rural villages very extensively, and came to the conclusion that actually perhaps prevention is far better than cure. That the cost of curing is actually a small fraction of the is a large multiple of the cost of prevention, and we really need to think about this with a very different level of imagination. So for the first few years, I actually spent a reasonable amount of capital working in a couple of districts of Maharashtra, doing a very simple technique that was completely unoriginal. It was something that had been done for decades, and I learned it from farmers, which is rejuvenation of water bodies. The first two set of photos that you see were the dams that we worked on early on in the district of Jalna. We found a dam called Jeev Rekha, and the farmers there were willing to put in the year of drought a lot of their own capital to carry silt, which they thought was black gold, from the water body and put it on their fields. Now, all they needed was help to excavate this silt, and we were willing to provide them that help. The interesting thing was that though we had drought the year after that, that water body actually became a source of water for the adjoining district. And that actually told us, that there's something really interesting going on. We then went to the adjoining district, which was the suicide capital of Maharashtra, Bid. We did the same thing there, and we learned that, again, the implication for farmers was transformative. Farmers who basically were drought-prone, who were doing work in Manrega for many years, actually saw their life completely transformed because not only water came in, but the silt massively boosted their income, more than doubling it in just 6 months. And so with that, we basically spent about 20, 30 crores of our own money working in a couple of districts on a few hundred water bodies. What this actually did was gave us the opportunity to Is it possible to move the slide manually? Can we move the slide manually? For some reason, it's not moving from here. Yeah, it's not moving from there either. So, yeah, thank you. What that did was actually give us the opportunity to start, since we were working at scale, templatizing the process. The first thing was we started developing technology tools, satellite mapping systems, which allowed us to prioritize where this work needs to be done, identify very narrowly where we wanted to work. The second is come up with SOPs, because as I said, this work had been done for a long time, but everyone did it differently. When you do SOPs, you can bring down the same cost of something that's been done to very standard levels. I was telling Gitanjali ji this just before this, that we found in some state the cost was 3x, in some case was 2x, but we basically brought it down to a standard number, which today is 28 to 32 rupees a cubic meter. The third is we were able to demonstrate at scale to farmers what the benefit of all of this is. And of course, when all of this came together, we were able to demonstrate at a very large scale that the cost of creating water capacity one time is under 3 paise per liter, and that's just surface capacity. Where there's groundwater recharge, that number falls to a fraction of it. And imagine this lasts for multiple years, 5 to 10 years. So we were able to demonstrate that there's real power in this model. Now, of course, what this meant was that, governments got excited. The first government was Maharashtra government, because our work was happening in Maharashtra. They called us in. We sat and we co-wrote the policy for Maharashtra, which is called GDGS. It's a Marathi term, Gal Mugdharan, Gal Yug Shivar. And we were able to execute at scale with them. We were invited by NITI to basically run a pilot with them. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But dial forward a decade, we've been able to do this now in 6,000 water bodies, impacting over 8,000 villages, nearly 1 crore people. 400 NGOs have been a part of this movement. And the great thing is that 78% of the funding has actually come from government, and we've provided a lot of support for the rest. But again, all that it costs, we've realized, to transform the life of a village is just about 3 lakh rupees, from donor funding, whether it's government or us. And just to put all of this in context, because we spend a lot of money building large dams, and sometimes that's really justified. But all of this means we've been able to create actually the equivalent capacity of a large dam between Mumbai and Pune called Khadakwasla at just 1/3 the cost in a fraction of the time. Now, the Honorable PM often talks about a concept called Jan Bhagidari. This is probably a great example of that. 2/3 of the cost of this entire scheme is actually borne by farmers themselves, because they are deeply vested in change, in local change, and they know how this will transform their lives. 1/4 is borne by the donors, be it the government or people like us, and that's the power of this model. What I've tried to show you here is 2 things. One is how it transforms lives on the left, immediate boost in income. Water is the source of life in the rural economy. You provide water. Someone who's growing 1 crop a year can grow 2 crops a year. If you're growing 2, you can grow 3. Along with that, the moment water is available, livestock starts becoming more productive. And of course, groundwater recharge, wherever there's percolation, happens automatically. I've just given you an example of monitoring tools that we have developed and how those help tracking. On the right side, if you will see the first row, that's the example of how drought badly hit the worst district in Maharashtra, Bid. And you can see between 2013 and 2016, which is the year we did rejuvenation, you can see the shrinkage of the water body and the vegetative cover. We went in and we rejuvenated that water body. Then you move clockwise and you see the impact that even though drought hit again in 2019, you see how the vegetative cover and the water body remains intact. We now have the tools to be able to do this for any water body in the country at the touch of a button. But this is the power of the model, and it all is visible in less than 3 to 6 months. Now, what are we doing with NITI? We ran a very interesting pilot with them between 2022 and 2024. This was in 11 aspirational districts. We worked in nearly 700 water bodies. Approximately 10 lakh people were impacted in 800 villages. A very large capacity of water was created. That went really well. I'll talk a little bit about the impact of that, and that has allowed us to, come back and forge a partnership for aspirational block program. This time the target set is for 25 blocks, 1,000 water bodies. These numbers, seem modest, but the NITI partnership is very valuable because it showcases to every state what is possible within their state itself. Looking at the first phase partnership, we've had reach outs from states who are now planning to do this in tens of thousands of water bodies over a 5-year period. So that's the power of, NITI's pilots. And I'll only urge any district collector who's watching this, who's a part of the aspirational block program, please consider making sure you make use of NITI's reach out to you to get the full benefit of the program launched this year. I won't take you through each of these comments, but it's important to know what government officials on one hand and the farmers on the other hand say. We play a very small role in this, that of a catalyst. I'll talk a little bit about what that means, but at the end of the day, this magic happens because district administrations work closely with the communities to enable change, and they are the ones who feel the benefit of it in a very short period of time. A lot of government schemes take long periods of time to show results. This is one where you see the result immediately in 3 to 6 months. And that's the power of this, be it, green fields with boosted productivity or filled up water bodies when others start drying up. The benefit is truly, truly immense. And importantly, the tools we have built now enable monitoring and evaluation in a highly efficient manner. And that's why collectors actually really like this. I talked a little bit about the NITI, spotlight, but I want to actually put in context what that really means. Look, the big picture is that if you really look at the poverty map of India, it should not come as a surprise that the poverty map of India overlaps with the drought map of India. We are largely an agrarian country when it comes to our people. And if you're agrarian and you don't have access to water, you are unfortunately thrown under the bus. And therefore, until we solve the issue of water access for our farmers, we will not be able to build a Viksit Bharat. And that's why we think this is really important. Now, what does it take to solve a part of that problem? We have been able to now put numbers to this. Thanks to the Jal Shakti census, which happened last year, thanks to the tools that we have, which is the satellite mapping, we have been able to map state by state and estimate that 25% of this problem can actually be solved at less than 1,000 crores a year for the next 5 years. So you can imagine the implication for a state is virtually a small rounding error in its budget. And all of this can come from within the allocations they currently have for water. In fact, just for 6 states, we've taken 3 states in the northern belt and 3 in the western and southern belt, we've even named the schemes from which they can draw this money. And finally, I'll just talk about one thing, which is what we have done to enable making this happen at scale in an efficient manner and quickly. 2 things. One is we have built multilingual tools. Currently, the tools are in 5 languages. Very easy for us to build another 3 languages if any state wants to do this. The tools include training. If any one of you get onto Karma Yogi, the training which is available for rejuvenation of water body is done by us. There are tools we have put on our YouTube channel for, whether it's CRP on the ground or any NGO, and then satellite tools. We can effectively map any district which can help a district collector or a CDO say, I want to work in these set of water bodies because that's what will transform the water situation in my district. So all those tools we have basically built. And on the monitoring side, working, for example, in Niti, we have a PMU there. And then we have built other tools which allow real-time monitoring from the farmer to the district collector to the central administration. And finally, given this is the age of AI, we have a WhatsApp bot. The WhatsApp bot allows real-time answering of questions by farmers and NGOs because just the volume of queries that come up are so large that 80-90% of them are now handled by WhatsApp bot. So I'm going to conclude with just one thing, which is, as I said, we are simply catalysts in this process. Our role is simply to take all the risks that government cannot take, and the solutions that farmers find hard to provide themselves, and to fill that gap and then to take it to the government and allow them to scale and build a better mousetrap to solve what we believe is one of the most difficult problems in the country, which has really held back such a large percentage of our brothers and sisters behind. And that's the journey that we are on. I would just urge all of you, since you all are ultimately the change makers, to join us, focus on the issue of water, because unless we focus on this issue and deal with it once and for all in the next 5 years, we really won't be able to build a Viksit Bharat. Thank you again for inviting me today.
Until we solve the water access for our farmers, we cannot rightly progress towards a Viksit Bharat. Thank you, Sri Chandra, for letting us know how civil society can work along with the government to benefit humanity at large. Thank you very much for sharing your work. Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed, please welcome Sri Abhishek Sharma, the Deputy Commissioner of Rajouri, Jammu and Kashmir, a dynamic officer known for his grassroots leadership. In addition to his role as DC, he also conducted 2 back-to-back elections in 2 districts of J&K as district election officer. Since assuming charge, he has been actively involved in administrative reforms and development projects. Some notable initiatives under his leadership include beautification of Rajouri and solid waste management. Shri Abhishek Sharma has emphasized transparency, civic participation and efficient governance throughout his tenure so far. We welcome you to kindly make your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him with a round of applause.
A very good evening to all. Honorable Union Minister Rao Indrajit Singh Ji, Secretary DRPG Shri V. Srinivas Sir, all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, this is an experience from one of the remotest districts of the country, which is surrounded by line of control, 121 kilometers of line of control along the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and on the northern side, surrounded by the mighty Pir Panjal range. So, this is a aspirational blocks program में जो एक remotest block ख्वास जम्मू एंड कश्मीर का है, उसके बारे में आज चर्चा करेंगे. एक पद्धति है, कल्चरल प्रैक्टिस फॉलो की जाती है डिस्ट्रिक्ट राजौरी में, जहां की आबादी का 90% से ज़्यादा हिस्सा शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब पॉपुलेशन है, और उन्हीं में एक ट्राइब है बकरवाल ट्राइब. और हर साल बकरवाल ट्राइब गर्मियों के मौसम में हाई रीचेस पे जाता है, पास्चर्स पे, ताकि वो अपने जो भेड़ बकरियां उनके लिए चारे का इंतज़ाम कर पाए. और विंटर्स में ये मूवमेंट रिवर्स शुरू हो जाती है, वापस मैदानों की तरफ शुरू हो जाती है, ताकि वो कम टेम्परेचर से अपने जानवरों को बचा पाएं. ये कल्चरल प्रैक्टिस ट्रांसह्यूमेंस कही जाती है. ये एक इंटीग्रल हिस्सा है बकरवाल कल्चर का. लेकिन आज के दौर में जहाँ पे हम एस्पिरेशंस की बात कर रहे हैं, तो हम जब बात करते हैं बकरवाल ट्राइब के लोगों से, तो उस एस्पिरेशन में इस ट्रांसह्यूमेंस की वजह से बहुत सारी दिक्कतें, परेशानी होती हैं, जिसके बारे में आगे बात करें. ख्वास ब्लॉक, जैसे मैंने बताया कि one of the remotest block in the country with a literacy rate of just 41% in 2011 census. It has 15 panchayats. The population of sheep and goat exceeds the human population. And before the Aspirational Blocks program was launched, out of 15 panchayats, 4 panchayats did not even have road connectivity. They were not connected by road with the block and the district headquarters. This resulted in a cycle of poverty and terrorism. I'll discuss it later. So key issues which we identified in the block, we highlighted 4 key important issues which resulted in the backwardness of block Khas. First and foremost is the terrain and remoteness. As I had told you before the Aspirational Blocks program, there were 4 panchayats which were not even connected with road, and this resulted in Khas block being one of the severely hit districts with terrorism, blocks with terrorism, and it has seen multiple incidents. One of the, if we see in the number of incidents, terror incidents, it is the highest in terms of terror incidents because the security forces could not go to those far off places. So because of the security issues, there was lack of monitoring of projects on ground. No audit team would go on the in the block, no senior official would visit in the block, and there was no connect with the people in the block. Then the second challenge was the tribal economy and cultural practices. As I told you before, the practice of trans women creates a lot of challenges, especially when we see in the sectors of health and education. Even in the sector of health, there is an institution of Baji, which is present in this block. These are traditional healers, which still have a lot of dominance in the community, and people, they would like to go to a Baji for a health issue than a clinical doctor. And fourth is the issue of migration, because at 41% literacy, it really creates a lot of difference and a lot of gap between the Bakarwal tribe and the rest of population. So first and foremost, as we know how Aspirational Block strategy works, so we came up with the block SWOT analysis, strength, weakness analysis, and our approach, at the fundamental of our approach, was connectivity. So what we focused, that first and foremost all gram panchayats and all villages should be connected, and highest allocation for PMGSY and the NABARD funded projects was given to the block Khas. And today, as we say, as we are here, ladies and gentlemen, all the villages and all the gram panchayats are connected with all weather road connectivity for the first time since independence. And for the past 1 year, we have had no terror incident in the block. And when we discuss with the security forces, it is because of the quickness and the readiness of the forces. They can reach to any village, and there is better security architecture there. Education. In the field of education, we understood that unless the parents are made stakeholder and they understand the issue of literacy, we cannot move forward. So we focused on the adult literacy campaign first. Under Ullas centrally sponsored scheme, we focused on adult literacy camps in the last winters, because these were the time when the Bakarwal population was in the plains. So we had multiple sessions, classes to cover and saturate all the adult population so that they could at least write their names. And then we focused on the seasonal schools, which was already functioning, but the monitoring was not there. There was no monitoring of the seasonal centers, the schools, the teachers, which go with the Bakarwals and move up in the Pir Panjal. So we made a framework in which their teaching and their the learning outcomes are monitored, and I'll come in the impact, how this impacted. In the field of health, we understood that it is very difficult to break the traditional dependence between a Baji and the Bakarwal population, but we understood that there are some areas where we can make inroads, especially in the maternal and child health. So we started bringing out tribal ashas and started training them extensively and giving them more capacity so that they could go back and develop some sort of strength in the local community. And ultimately, at the core of it was communication, because When we work in a tribal area, Khwas is 100% tribal block. Entire schemes of Government of India and the Government of states or union territories, they could not reach the population because of language barrier. So we translated all the schemes, and in the form of audio jingles, we could translate them into Gojri language, and so that they reach every person. So the interventions in the field of, at the core, I said the communication was the key. So all the senior officers, we started camping in the block, and the jingles used to be played. There was huge participation, and we started learning from the people what they want. And in the field of nutrition, we focused on Anganwadis. So if you can see the Anganwadis toilet availability, saturation, it was at 26%, and now it is at 96%. And the drinking water was just 34%, and now it is 100% saturated. So we focused extensively on the early childhood care system. Then in the field of education, we understood that since the population would move, so if a parent is motivated to put the child to school, we need a residence for the child. So we focused extensively on the hostels, and we utilized all the fundings from various schemes of Government of India to make the hostels ready. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, a 50-bedded girls' hostel is ready in the block, and now it is functioning. And we are again this year, under Dharti Abha scheme, we are focused on creating in all the panchayats tribal hostels. In the field of agriculture, we understood that in the modern time of ICT, since all the schemes are online, people cannot be told to just go on a portal and apply for a scheme. So we established Kisan Khidmat Ghar in one of the panchayats. Now we are extending it to 2 more panchayats in the block, in which modern ICT infrastructure is being made available along with the VC facility, in which the agriculture expert will be connected at the district level. And all the schemes can be assessed by a citizen, a farmer in the Kisan Khidmat Ghar. There is a Krishi Udyami who is an agriculture sciences graduate background, and he can assist the farmers to get the farm registered, to apply for various schemes, and all in the local languages. So we try to break the barrier of technology and the language. In the field of infrastructure, as I told you before, that road connectivity was put a lot of focus. Still, we are not connected with internet. There are still 4 gram panchayats which don't have internet connectivity, but under the scheme 4G saturation, BS-4 has started the tower projects in all the 4 panchayats, and very soon, shortly, within a period of few months, they will be connected with 4G internet. The impact, if you can see, so there is, as I told you before, hostels and schools, there is a focus and there is an impact. In the field of digital and financial inclusion, before Aspirational Blocks program was launched, there was not a single ATM in the block. Just imagine a person had to walk 120 kilometers, travel 120 kilometers just to get cash from an ATM. Now, first ATM has been opened in the block, all because of Aspirational Blocks program, because then we started thinking differently. Infrastructure development, for the first time ever, we are started monitoring of projects on the ground. All the 214 projects of various schemes of Government of India and the Union Territory, they are being monitored, physically monitored by the team, so that there is no quality issue in the schemes, in the projects. So all 214 such developmental projects were physically monitored by the teams. There is overall change in the security paradigm by road connectivity and internet connectivity now, and it has led to a lot of trust. Now teachers are going in the schools. Now people want to get posted in this block. Earlier there was a huge issue of putting teachers in those schools and putting doctors in those hospitals. So connectivity has really helped us to achieve this. And I end with this quote: the mountains remain, the migrations continue, but because of the aspirations which now the people are having, there are pathways and they are paved with possibility. And sir, as you had mentioned earlier, that now the issue of scale and sustainability is there. So I believe that because there was a it all started with communication with the people, and it all started with understanding the core issue of connectivity. I have full faith and belief that if such programs, it is continued, it will surely change the entire generations. Thank you so much for giving me the floor.
The pathways are now paved with possibility. Thank you for sharing the challenges faced in the area and how a focused approach towards each of them helped address these issues. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed, may I take the opportunity of inviting Shri Namit Mehta, DC Udaipur, to kindly please make his presentation. A qualified chartered accountant and company secretary, he currently serves as the district collector of Udaipur. Known for his people-first approach, he is focused on promoting tourism, tribal welfare, and effective governance. With prior experience in Udaipur during his probation, he brings deep local insight to his role. He is admired for his vision, sensitivity, and administrative acumen. May I please invite you to make your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Thank you. Eminent dignitaries on the dais, senior officers, dear colleagues, a very good evening and namaskar to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank V. Srinivas sir and Niti Ayog for giving me this opportunity to share the ABP strategy of my district Udaipur and block Kherwada. So with permission of the chair, I would begin my presentation. This is a brief about the ABP program. I would not go into much detail, but this program started in 2023 with the aim to improve quality of governance, quality of life in backward 500 blocks across the country. The key parameter indicators spread across 5 themes, and there were 40 indicators. The ABP core strategy revolves around these 3 core words: convergence, collaboration, and competition. Convergence of schemes, collaboration between various stakeholders, block level functionaries, PRIs, the common public, competition amongst the blocks, the delta ranking model which is inbuilt in the ABP strategy. These 3 words have literally shaped the development of these backward blocks. And apart from this, one more word which we can add is the renewed focus and continuous monitoring of these blocks, which has resulted in rapid development. These are the themes and indicators. There are 40 indicators, and the weights that they have across the 5 broad areas. Health, nutrition, and education garners the maximum percentage. These are the 27 blocks in Rajasthan which are under the aspirational block program. 5 of them belong to the aspirational districts as well, and remaining 22 are from the non-aspirational district. This is Kherwada block at a glance. 2 statistics that can catch your attention is the literacy rate. It is quite low. It is around 55%, with female literacy just around 42%. And the second statistical figure is the ST population. It is predominantly an ST population dominant block, with 70% of the population is tribal. This is a SWOT analysis of the block, and the major strength is obviously a lot of government scheme, government support. Because it is a tribal block, the social setup is more of egalitarian in nature, less of gender biases. Weaknesses are low literacy. It is a mountainous region, so the population is scattered. So the major challenges are of connectivity, whether it is road connectivity, mobile connectivity, these becomes major challenges. This is the ranking of the block across the period. We started around 438 rank, national rank in June 24. We came up to 75, now we are at 131 at the national rank. And at the right of the slide, you can see the composite score. We were 56.9, the baseline score was 56.9 in March 2023, and in December 2024, it has come to 68, which is a 20% increase in less than 2 years. So that is an achievement that we are all proud of in Udaipur. These are some initiatives and best practices that we adopted so that we could focus on the important parameters, the KPIs. The Poshan Maha, our focus was to educate the rural population, the tribal population about the importance of nutrition in their daily diet, about various schemes that are being run by government for their nutritional support, and as a result, our children, the eligible children population taking the nutritional support under ICDS, it came up to 94%. The pregnant women taking nutritional support, the percentage has come up till almost 90%. Our severe acute malnourishment has declined from 1.93% to 1.28%. The second initiative that we started was the iStart initiative. The idea was to improve the PTR in our schools, the pupil-teacher ratio, and also focus on the educational attainment of weak students, because it's a tribal belt. The educational attainment, as we saw in the earlier slide, is the literacy rates are poor. So to focus on the educational aspect, we started this program, and now almost 98% of our schools have become PTR compliant. ANC Khojo Abhiyan was one of the major initiatives, because ANC to detect a pregnant lady in the first trimester and register her is one of the most important parameters. Because once a lady is registered, only then we can focus on her nutritional needs, institutional deliveries, vaccination of the child, everything follows. So this is one of the most important parameters and has helped us in improving most of our health-related parameters. The Swasth Dharohar Shivers were organized to screen BP patients, hypertensive and diabetic patients above the age of 30 years. We've almost saturated the entire population above 30 years. The eCK program was, there is a parameter which measures the efficiency in recording child data. So we had given training to our Anganwadi Karyakartas, because most of these data filling is being now done on online portals, the Poshan app trackers. So this has also helped us in improving from 48% till 99%. These are some other initiatives which are not directly related to the KPIs, but yes, for the overall development of the population, they were very important. So they range from cyber security programs to SHG empowering groups, digital literacy. So all of that we've done during the last 1 year. In ensuring effective implementation of these initiatives, we've used a lot of support from private partnerships. We've also ensured maximum participation of the local representatives, the Panchayati Raj institutions, common public, all our block level, field level officials, and we've adopted a Jan Bhagidari approach in doing it. And yes, then with technology with our side, the Champions of Change portal, the Poshan trackers, the e-filing system that we have in Rajasthan, all of that has helped us in effectively implementing all our initiatives. The Sampunta Abhiyan, as you are aware that it was organized from July 24 to September 24. We are amongst one of the blocks which saturated on all the 6 parameters which were the goal during this campaign. As we all know that in government and in any other organization, what is monitored gets done. So we focus on monitoring our parameters, our departments continuously and rigorously at the district level, at the block levels, at the panchayat level. So these are some snapshots of the same. Again, these are the workshops and the meetings regarding aspirational block program. These are the media snapshots and coverage of the initiatives that we took during this period, be it the ANC Khojo Abhiyan or the Swasth Dharohar, Samriddhi Ki Nahi Kahani. All these events were being widely publicized by the media. These are again some snapshots. One of the initiatives that you can see is the Divyango mein Shiksha ke liye badhawa dene ke liye we had done was to make our schools compliant and teachers trained for children with special needs. So at the beginning of the ABP program, we had only 5% of our schools with trained teachers, and now we have around 11% of our schools which have trained teachers for CSWN students. And in the coming period, we'll ensure and we'll focus to get as many schools under the trained teachers net. This is a pink toilet initiative in Rajasthan, wherein we are making toilets for girls in girls' schools and also at public places. One of the parameters in ABP also emphasizes on having toilets in schools. Because of this initiative, we've almost saturated all our girls' schools with functional toilets. In Udaipur, we have the Hindustan Zinc Limited, and with their CSR contribution, they have a flagship program called the Nandghar Yojana, and we have modernized 17 Anganwadis. They've converted them into model Anganwadi Kendras. Some pictures you can see at the presentation. We've also saturated our target for farmers producer organizations. 100% target has been achieved, and with the help of these FPOs, we are further training our Kisans, our farmers, in doing modern farming and becoming progressive farmers. As I mentioned, that this is predominantly a mountainous region with scattered population, so it is little difficult for Jal Jeevan Mission to have tap connections in each and every household. We started at 11%, now we've reached 27% coverage, and in the coming period we'll focus and we'll try to saturate this parameter as well. Under the Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana and a state level scheme called Mukhyamantri Mangla Pashu Bima Yojana, we've increased the bovine vaccination from 18% to 82%. This is a PSC in Kherwada. It is an NQAS certified PSC. We've ensured state-of-the-art facilities at this PSC, and almost 22% of our facilities have been already certified by NQAS, and we are in the process of certifying another 4 to 5 facilities. In PM Awas Yojana, we have saturated our targets for Kherwada block, and thanks to the ABP program, that because of the emphasized focus, it is one of the blocks where we have saturated our PM Awas Yojana's targets. It is also heartening to mention that there are around 20,000 households in Kherwada block as per the SCCC data, and from each of the households we have one or more members in our SHGs, so that means 100% of the households have been covered under SHGs formation, and their tranche, the L1 tranche, T1 tranche have been given to them, all the 100% SHGs, eligible SHGs. This is the BharatNet connectivity. We are in a phase to increase it, and now we have around 34% live connections, but in the coming period we'll increase it further. To sum up the success story of Kherwada, yes sir, this is the last slide sir. To sum up the success story of Kherwada, we were 438, now we are 131. If you look at the composite score, Kherwada Udaipur is 68.1, Rajasthan average is 68%, and all India average of all the 500 blocks, 471 blocks, is 65.21%. So we are on the development track, and with further emphasis and further monitoring, we will grow further and develop speedily. Thank you.
We can have 5 minutes for interaction. Some of the awardees are also here. You want to share something? You can sit there and speak briefly, 1-2 minutes. Yes.
So there is just one suggestion with respect to the aspirational block program. Like the indicators will need some change in the time to come, because some indicators are relatively easy to saturate. For example, functional girls' toilet in schools. And maybe looking at the issues of national importance, we would like to incorporate such indicators. For example, like we have coverage of groundwater vis-a-vis the coverage of or usage of surface water. So if we can have some indicator with respect to the percentage of renewable energy in the district or in the concerned block which is being used in comparison with the traditional or the fossil fuel energy which is being used. So these or some other relevant indicators may be thought about maybe in the time to come. And some of the indicators may require some changes. That's all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Constant updation is an important aspect. Anything from you in this area?
Sir, that is the same thing. As per the UP model presentation, they are having more number of indicators. So what are the relevant indicators that we can take and we can revise it and we can make it better, sir?
Okay. Anybody else? You're saying something? Archana? Nothing. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. We can go to the next step.
I think so. Alok has to.
Yes, yes. The memento distribution, please.
Thank you very much for joining us here, ladies and gentlemen. And before we finally conclude the session, may I request tokens of appreciation for each of our dignitaries who have joined us here. May I please begin by requesting Shri V. Srinivasji to present a token of respect and appreciation for Shri Rao Inderjeet Singh Ji. जोरदार तालियों के साथ पुनः अभिनंदन और धन्यवाद. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here. And as all of us have realized, your presence is truly motivating for all of us. May I please invite Director, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Shri Tushaba Shindeji, to kindly present tokens of appreciation for each of our other dignitaries, beginning with Shri V. Srinivas, and also our presenters for the session. To Shri Alok Kumarji. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to each of our presenters. Shri Amit Chandra ji, thank you very much for sharing that wonderful presentation. Thank you very much for joining us here. Shri Abhishek Sharma, thank you for that enlightening presentation and sharing of perspectives. Absolutely, this also calls for a picture-perfect moment. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And Shri Namit Mehta, DC Udaipur, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation from your side. Thank you very much. Following this extremely enlightening and interactive session, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed panelists for their valuable insights, to the audience here with us today for their active participation, and to all our colleagues, including the district magistrates, block officers and officials who have joined us virtually from various locations for their continued support and engagement. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.